Hello, I'm General Waffles of the Breakfast Brigade. This is a Kharazim full damage build. This is what happens when you put your monk training into punching things until they die. Or kicking. There's a lot of kicks that happen. So this build, you kind of forsake a lot of your healing and you just build your damage up. And it's kind of debatable on how you build your damage up, because there's a lot of abilities where it's not exactly this gives you more damage straight up than this. It's not as easy as like other characters like Malfurion where it's obvious. So this build, I've seen a lot of people do this in a variant, and I'll speak about where the variance comes in a little bit later. But you only really want to run this with another support. So I picked this because we got a Brightwing. So I still got my AoE heal, and Brightwing can go more supporty. You can't really do anything else on Brightwing these days, unfortunately. I mean, I would argue you can't really heal on Brightwing these days, but whatever. So the Iron Fist lets you, as you notice, it changes to make little glowy fists instead of little circles. Poor Tyrael just did not realize what I was doing. And, well, Jim Raynor goes down too. But yeah. So every third hit, you do double damage. That's it. That's what... Instead of healing, you just do double damage. And is so easy for people not to understand how much damage that is. Yeah, I didn't kill Siege Tank, but I got her low enough for Zeratul to pick her up. Yeah. A lot of people kind of expect you to take a healing talent. They don't usually pay attention to that kind of crap. You know, unless you're actually like in ranked. In quick match, people don't pay attention to things. That's stupid. Why would you pay attention to talent choices? So you can actually surprise a lot of people with this and kill them really early on. Later in the game, it's a lot harder to set up the constant hits, but you can do it. Especially if you have a second support. So here, instead of going down there to try to contest those coins, I really just want this XP. Getting XP is probably the most... That's probably the most important thing. I only say probably because those coin turn-ins can give you a good amount of XP. And this map is one of the few maps that I would say that it's a gray area if farming the lanes early on is better than contesting those early coins. Because they were able to get 10 coins, but that was because Zeratul jumped in and died. They would have got it in other ways, but he gave them a little boost. So they got the coin turn-in, but since I was up here in the middle in the top lane getting this XP, our XP, we'll have comparable XP. We'll be able to keep up. Now here's something really dumb happens. I go in to just kind of punch around Jim Raynor. I know I can get out. I made a plan for it. And now here I kind of go in and Tronda controls this. Wait for it. Wait for it. Boom. Remember how I said reading talents is for dumb people? Yeah, this happens. He thinks... What he thought is that I took the healing talent and that I was going to go and punch things and heal him. Although, as you saw there was no real room for that to happen anyway, so... Just remember that that was my fault. It was probably all. Yeah. Normally, I would be a lot more obnoxious in the chat, not like rude and not like toxic or calling him bad, but I would be a little bit more sarcastic. But this is a video, and I don't want to look like an asshole, even though I'm explaining to you that I am in fact an asshole. Kind of defeating the purpose, but you know, you move on. Here I go up here. Zeratul is getting coins instead of moving up. That's fine. There's not really much I can do here. I just kind of heal up the people and walk away. I mean, sometimes just showing up is just as good as ganking a lane and killing them. Because it just alleviates that pressure. Tyrael, not realizing that I do so much damage, ends up taking most of his health bar to me and minions. Minions and I, as some would say. Now this is where the variation comes into the builds. Tyrael can't fight me. I don't know why he keeps thinking I do. So a lot of people take... a lot of people that want to run this build and have it be good, they take the second healing. The breath of whatever. And you actually have 2 heals and it's fairly effective. However, you get more damage out of pushing Q and being able to stick to people. And it's a lot of guaranteed damage. As long as you stick with them. I get, as you see here, here's Sharonda, and she's about to take a lot of damage. I position myself in front of her because attack moving with this character is brain dead. I mean, just constantly go, but here, the finish is so good. That wouldn't have happened at all if you take the second healing. So you're just trading off you being an effective healer for your team ever for damage. But that's okay, because we got Brightwing. And this is why I say you should only run this build if there's another support. Though I do think that Kharazim works better as a secondary support in general, rather than the team's only support. Though he can do it. Here, just trying to punch whatever I can. Tyrael tries to jump over the wall, but the way of 100 fists was too many fists, and he dies from it. With the help of Tychus, of course. Brightwing was there. Can't count that out. So now, even though they got a first turn in, we were able to still stabilize XP-wise and get to level 10 before them, a full level. 7-sided strike. I think 7-sided strike can fit in. This build, when people run it, they run either 7-sided strike or the Divine Palm. There doesn't seem to be a huge reason to. If you don't have another support, run Divine Palm 100% of the time. Poor Sharonda here, though. Just did not realize how much damage I could do. Yeah, 7-sided strike is super good if you are against one person and only one person. Against multiple people, you just bounce around, you don't really do anything. But it's a good way to just kind of initiate a fight. Poor Gym Rainer. Here I can't really go in until I have abilities. So you can either take Divine Palm, you know, if you wanted to forsake everything this build stands for. But I don't want to do that, so instead I take the good ability. 7-sided strike. Yeah, you can't play around too much when you commit to a build like this. That defeats the purpose of playing a dumb build. And why would you... This is probably one of the very few builds that I would consider a dumb build that's viable in ranked play. I mean, you just change out that one talent to give you double heals, and suddenly you're an effective healer too. It's actually kind of crazy. Here, Merc camps with this build are still really easy to take. You take them faster, and you don't regenerate health, but it's not usually a problem because you can kill them fast enough. The bigger camps are an issue. And on the Diablo maps, it's not as easy. Team picking up some kills, so we're pretty organized right now. Getting pretty far ahead. Controlling the coin turn-ins. Yeah, we're doing pretty good. I loop around there just not get shot by minions. There's not really anything I can do here, but me being here will stifle their push. Like, they won't push as hard. As you can see, they kind of backed around a little bit. Brightwing can teleport in on me as she does right here, and now, boom, there is nothing to stop me. It's so wonderful. Brightwing with that movement speed, me giving movement speed. I can just get in front of Taronda and she's done. I don't know if she revealed herself there or what happened, but she activated the stealth and something broke it. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, once Brightwing was there, I was able to do whatever I wanted and just kind of walk right in. Yeah. If you're allowed to do things with this build, you will destroy people. Here's another one. So Quicksilver is still really good, and that's probably something you'd want to take. But you don't do more damage with Quicksilver. Movement speed doesn't kill people in and of itself. So you make your Furious Fists fight faster. Yeah, that's good. So basically, it just extends the duration of your E ability by 50%. Which wouldn't be too much of a big deal, but next level you will see how that is really effective. Tychus able to get out of there, and I just melt through that siege tank with Tychus' help. Go here! Yeah. He knocks me back, and I just didn't react properly. And well, whatever. I looked like an idiot, but it's okay. Zeratul sticking around to finish off Gem Rainer. And now, Octo grabbed. Diablo is not going anywhere. I have a lot of coins on my person, and I would like to turn them in. Well, things look pretty good for us. We're controlling things as a team, 3 levels ahead. Nothing can go wrong. At all. I got a treasure goblin. Yeah, that's something I really like that Blizzard does, is that they have mounts that are only purchasable by gold. I really like that feature. Yeah. Not only does it give people something that want to play the game for free, but it also gives you something that shows that you genuinely tried at the game and tried to improve yourself, like the master skins. And it's just a little bonus. Also, if you already have all the characters, master skins, for some reason you just play this game so much that you have literally every character up to past level 10 and have a master skin on them. It's something for you. So here now you pick up Blazing Fist, and this is important because every third strike will take the cooldown from your E ability by 1 second. This is important because if you can continually punch something, the cooldown for that steroid ability is 2 seconds. That's really good. So every 2 seconds you can hit E, punch, punch, punch. It's really strong, especially when you try to take merc camps like this, because merc camps don't typically try to run away. And they don't crowd control you. Boss does, but yeah, you're not going to solo boss with this build, I'm sorry to break it to you. Do a lot of damage, but not that much damage. Just look, you melt those camps, though. That's 242 damage every third strike, with an attack speed of 4 hits per second. That's pretty good. Now, if someone picks up imposing presence, as it were, it just cripples you so much. Just don't ever punch them, basically. Here, Tyrael coming in to do stuff, and Diablo Fire Breath. I mostly used my ultimate to escape the Fire Breath. 7-sided strike out of that. Because it does make you invincible, and that's a little consolation prize, I suppose. Zeratul getting thrown around. It's a little consolation prize if you aren't going to accomplish anything with it, that is. It's guaranteed damage in the area. Now here I can come up and just bully people away. However, Diablo is obnoxious. I think he gets away. I don't remember. No, he doesn't get away. I'm just waiting for my cooldowns to come up. And now we can just push. You know, we're almost 3 levels ahead again. And Tyrael coming in is not going to help do anything, really. Diablo's already back, but he gets octo-grabbed, and I just start punching him because... Well, he was octo-grabbed, just kind of natural instinct. I just keep punching him because he does. Poor Tyrael goes down, and now I 7-side strike out of that and dash away. And that's the monk right there. If you set up your escape plan, which you should do every time you go in, then you shouldn't be dying very often. Also, if you have a monk on your team and he's in danger, move toward him, because he can jump to you. This is more of an issue in quick match than it is in ranked. Usually people in ranked read abilities, but this is a big issue of people at low health will just abandon you, even though all they had to do was like take 1 step back, so they're moving in tandem with your dash. It's annoying. Just remember to do that. Murky not gonna be able to actually clean up that kill, and Zeratul is gonna go down to Sergeant Hammer. Gem Rainer is no match for me, and I kind of panic use that ability. I thought I was going to die, so I just used it. I was hoping that something would get accomplished, and now Tyrael dies me alone, but I can't fight him because I have no mana. Without mana, you're kind of useless. Honestly, I mean, your auto attacks are good, but they're not good enough. You really need that attack speed steroid to be effective in fights. And if you're not healing, if you didn't choose the healing passive, then you punching things doesn't help your team. It just does a little bit of damage. It's not that helpful. So make sure you have mana. If you run out of mana, try to leave the fight. You know, Murky just pushing this down while they turn in coins. We are dying though, and the underdog bonus is in effect, in full effect, and it's showing as they have already closed the level deficit by a lot. That's another thing to note, is that you can jump to things like Murky's Egg. The knockback again messes with my brain. I don't know what it is. I'm just going to go in on Sergeant Hammer. I don't believe I actually end up killing her. Yeah, she gets away. But you can dash to things like eggs, or Abathur, or Locusts, or what have you. And now I have a giant shield and Brightwings here. However, they have 3 strong, and I have no real way of replenishing my health quickly, even with Brightwing here. With full supports. So now we have to run, and I try dash to Brightwing. The speed up will save me, thanks to Brightwing's speed up. Something that she still has really good. Murky making questionable decisions. Like, his egg was destroyed, and they could see him, despite him being in Fog of War. Not sure what he was doing. Yeah. I'm sure he had some sort of plan, or maybe just messed up. I don't know. But now they've completely caught up in level, and they have the momentum. And that's really bad. It's going to be a long road to get that back. But now it's anyone's game. I have 11 coins, and I have had these for a very long time. How I've not died and lost them, I actually don't know. Hammer interrupting my turn in just long enough. I couldn't stand back any longer, so I was having side strike down Diablo. Veranda moving in actually helps him a lot, because she soaked up 7% of his max health. Yeah, it's really easy for people to mess up your ultimate just by grouping. Yeah. It's like if you have Kel'Thas and the Monk on the same team that have 7-sided strike. It'd probably be really good, because if they get grouped up, they get punished by Kel'Thas for his flame strikes and his chain bombs. And then if they decide to separate out a lot, then you can punish them with 7-sided strike. Here I know I'm overextended, but I got my dashes. Yeah. One of the annoying... I mentioned earlier that not everything is as cut and dry as it could be. One of the things is that you go for the E, your Fury Fist, I don't remember what it's called, and you get a lot of damage out of it. You get substantially more damage out of it than you do from an extra dash, say. The problem is, doing that damage is very hard. So you may actually do more damage by picking up the extra dashes, and you get the extra Way of 100 Fists. Alternatively, you could also pick up Blinding Speed, and then this would help with having more dashes, because more dashes, more speed, just better. So, that's what you can kind of do to doctor this build to make it better, make it more viable. But I do believe this build is something that's here to stay. I believe this is just the go-to secondary build. The first build should always be the healing build, because I think it's just better. It helps your team out more, and you're a support. You should be focused on helping your team and not trying to burst people down. But in quick match, do what you want. You know, have fun. That's the point. That's why you do these builds. You don't do these builds simply to win games. You do these builds to have fun. Poor Brightwing gets ulted, and I can't save her because I don't have my... I do a lot of damage to them, but can't get the kills. Murky was able to pick up that Diablo kill, but it doesn't amount to too much. I walk into this because reasons, I suppose. And I just really want to kill the siege tank, and there goes all my coins. Tychus, as you remember earlier, was saying how useless I was, is now giving the team a good pep talk. Good job, Tychus. Way to keep morale high. I appreciate it. You know what? Not everyone appreciates it. I would like to mention right now that anytime there's a player that plays bad on the team, even if I point it out, even if they're being a gigantic dick, do not ever try to find this person, message them, contact them, or insult them in any way. That's just rude. Like, I'm not here typing a whole bunch of stuff at them. No one's typing stuff. You shouldn't be just, like, yelling at people. And I just don't want that. I don't want anyone who watches these videos to go out and attack people because of something I showed you. But anyway, back to the video. So I just pulled up the stats real quick. And I am doing some of the most damage on the team. Tychus is bringing home a lot of damage too. But you can just see that this build brings out a lot of damage. Healing is subpar, 50% on Brightwing. Against Brightwing. And yeah, you still do a lot of good off healing. But our team kind of just walks into there one by one, and we all die. So that's unfortunate. And there's no real recovery from this position, unfortunately. Spoilers. But with a boss and them having the ability to control the map and turn in coins on this map specifically, it's a loss. We have none of their keeps down. We'll never be able to leave the base. Even if we could survive this boss, we wouldn't survive on the next bombardment. And even if they turned in and did a bombardment and we somehow managed to kill this boss before it killed this keep, there's really no way to actually win in that position. I mean, the catapults will keep us too much at bay. The only hope we would have is rushing them, and then they just counter-rush us and our core be low enough because of our lack of structures. But now I'm kind of just rambling about facts rather than talking about the game. They got a coin turn in! So they did have enough coins to actually turn in as well as after they get the boss. Here I'm trying to stick to Tyrael, and I do okay. Unfortunately, he stuns me right on the edge of where the boss stun came down, and I was crowd controlled to death. Here's the team working hard to win. It was unwinnable, but still. It's nice to, like, put a little bit of effort in. Tyke is telling people what they should have been doing, even though they've been doing it the entire game. But that's it. That's a quick match for you. Kharazim. Still fun build. As you can see, highest damage on our team. And Mr. Tychus, who was yelling at everybody and has 8 deaths. So here's the build. Iron Fist, more damage. Overtake, so you can have more movement speed while your Deadly Reach is activated. Wave 100 Fist, you can stick to people, do a lot more damage. Real good. Overtake's really good too. 7-side Strike, it's damage. You take the damage ability. That's it. Do it. More duration, which combos next very nicely with the next ability, which will reduce your cooldown to 2 seconds if you hit all your hits. And then more damage on your 7-side strike. Anyway, that's it for this video. Till next time.